My first question is going to be in general, but probably directed toward Mr. Gordon, since his budget is the only, or his subcommittee is the only budget that's even heard this. On the cap and trade, I have asked on several occasions that we actually hold some kind of hearing because what we're dealing with here is a securities transaction where we have a sale of securities initially, for which we will be charged a fee. Those will be handled and by a brokerage house or whoever, commodities broker. Then we're going to be using a Delaware corporation to augment part of this that is not subject to sunshine laws. They are only responsible to report on those activities really that pertain to the initial contract with the state. But once we get in the loop with WCI Inc., they can then contract without our permission. And we are, in fact, the 800-pound gorilla in the room when you look at ourselves in Quebec. Then we're going to be allowing offsets for some of our emitters that maybe want to do offset projects in other areas so that other areas could potentially get our manufacturing jobs that don't have as stringent greenhouse gas emissions regulations, as well as maybe buying using credits to maintain forests and in other areas like Quebec. So we're going to be sending our California money to maintain forest projects and sending our manufacturing out and maybe even our electricity generation other places because we penalize generators and we reward distributors. And that sounds like Enron to me. And then we're going to have like I said, a secondary trading market where the commodities brokers will need to find out who needs extra, who's willing to pay what. There'll be a commission on that. And then we're going to enter into derivatives, which are really insurance products we found out without reserves. And they're going to be hedging, probably either a range of compliance with or even a range of cost of their certificates. So there's going to be a lot of money made on securities in the state of California, and I'm not so sure that any of us, even though this bill says we're going to have some legislative oversight, I'm not so sure any of us really understand what it is we're supposed to be overseeing, because if J.P. Morgan can't handle a lot of this for their own account, and I was at a CARB hearing, and I've made requests of the legislative analysts, and I've made requests, and I've gotten responses back, and I also brought these responses to Mary Nichols of CARB, and I raised additional issues. I am very concerned that the state of California is getting fleeced in this process, and so I'd like to have oversight on the CARB board, whoever it is that's putting together this oversight committee, that the legislature have some representation, that the state treasurer's department also be represented, because they are the only elected office that actually deals with markets and securities on a regular basis, and that we have more than just the CARB administrators, WCI Inc., and other not interested parties in the state of California.